Hey everyone, all right, so here we are, back at it, back in the saddle, up $2,800. That's a good day. Now, granted, I'm only making back 10% of what I lost yesterday, but this is the way it goes. You know, if you knock down a wall, you can only rebuild it one brick at a time. So, boom, one brick in, 9 more to go. Within a week or 2 weeks, I'll be back at all-time highs, and I'll be able to put this loss behind me. But what I will retain from it is a really good lesson on being too aggressive. I watched this awesome movie on Netflix. I thought it was great. It was Triple Frontier with Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck plays the most annoying character. Totally screws it up for everyone. But it's a great movie on greed, and when you start to get greedy and you start to think about all the potential, you can lose sight of the risk and you can totally deviate from your plan, a plan that may be totally proven and vetted, and next thing you know, you're off the rails. And that's kind of what happened yesterday, and it's an easy thing to happen with trading. We're always kind of walking this fine line between capitalizing on FOMO and not falling victim to it, and I crossed the line yesterday, and so now I'm going to spend a few weeks building it back up, and that's part of the journey that we all go through as traders. So anyways, today's a great day. Really happy just to be green. Had a really solid trade right out of the gates. 10-second long trade, and I made $3,300. Lost $500 on trade number 2 and 3, and I said, okay, that's it. I'm walking away, and I'm going to take my money and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. All right, so enjoy the day, guys. As usual, questions, comments on today's trade, leave them below, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, Friday. We'll do the pre-market watch list live streaming here on YouTube around 9:15. Make sure you're subscribed to get the alert, and we'll try to make a little bit of money on Friday and then go into the weekend, get a couple days to relax and rest up. All right, so here we are, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, done for the day, up $2,838.41. I'm going to take the money and I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to overstay my welcome today. So, a nice little bounce back. This is the name of the game. I'm digging myself out of the hole. Shovel is in hand, and I'm, going to kind of settle in here because this is what we're going to be doing for the next couple weeks. Just digging myself out. This is nothing I haven't done before. The last time I was this far on a drawdown, of course, was more than 5 years ago. But this is where I'm at. This is just another little kind of obstacle and challenge in this journey to take less than $600 and turn it into $1 million, something that most people have said is impossible. And it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. This is a little bit of a setback here, but it's okay. It's just going to make it that much more exciting and feel that much better when I do finally cross the line. So yesterday was my single worst loss of my career that I've ever had, $31,000 in one loss. I was already up on the day though, so I finished the day down 28 grand. It's, you just gotta brush it off. We deal with big numbers here all the time. I mean, at my kind of level of trading, I'm up $2,800 today. I could basically take a digit off of all of these numbers and bring it back down to what's more realistic, $283. Yesterday, like a $2,800 loss. In terms of being relative to where I'm at right now, I'm already up well over $100,000 on the year, and it's March 21st. So the thing that's always hard is it feels like $28,000 is an unthinkable amount of money to lose. It's like, son of a gun, how did I do that? That's, you think of all that you could have bought with 28 grand, and it's a lot of money. On the other hand, it's only on those red days that you really start to think about it. On the green days, on the days where I've made $75,000 in 1 week, I'm just kind of like, whatever, I'm still at the grocery store buying discount cereal, trying to save a couple bucks. It just, you're like, well, you kind of get disconnected from it. At least when you're making the money. When you lose the money, it's like, wow, that's a lot to lose. But, that's kind of just one of the things with this career. When you start trading and you really get into it, you're trading with you may end up trading with some big size, and you may end up having some really big green days where it's like, whoa, That's a 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 green day. And you'll have them going the other way too, to a certain extent. Fortunately, my biggest green day is still bigger than my biggest red day, which is great. My single biggest green trade is about $33,000. So biggest green winner is still bigger than the biggest red loser. And it's fine. I'll be all right. And for those of you guys who have had losses, on a scale maybe more relative to you, where it's like a $2,800 loss, it can feel like a big setback. I did just give back basically 2 good weeks of trading from February or from March, but 2 weeks from now, most likely I'll be almost all the way out of the hole, and I'll be back, back at all-time highs. And a month from now, hopefully I'll be over that $1 million level, and it'll just be like, I'll look back and on my P&L, it'll be like, oh, yep, that was that little dip, and then I kept going. So one of the things I mentioned this morning is that after having a big loss, there's a couple of things that sometimes people will do. I had a couple people comment on my YouTube video last night, Ross, you should change strategies. What you're doing is not working. You just lost $28,000. And that instinct is not, to me, it's not a good one. Because, yeah, sure, I lost, a good amount yesterday, but let's look at that strategy and how it's actually performing. Not just on a micro level of like how I did in one day, which is easy to do when you're emotional, is to focus just obsessively on, how you did on that one day. But let's look at how it's doing over the course of a little bit of a bigger period of time. Let's look at the last 3 months, for instance. If I'm going to make a change, like I'm going to abandon my strategy, let's make sure we're really looking at the data and there's a reason to do it. So, here we go. Let's look at the last 3 months up until February. And in the last 3 months, there's $170,000 of profit. And accuracy is 70%. And my average winners are 1,100 and my average losers are 700. And my biggest winner was 18 grand and my biggest loser was 3,100 up until, of course, this month. So, when you step back and you look at these metrics, these are the metrics of a profitable trader. This is a strategy that does work really well. And that's over the course of 288 trades. We can go back here to 2015 or whatever, really zoom back. There's $1.3 million in profits, 70% accuracy. So these metrics hold up over the long haul, but it doesn't mean that occasionally, I don't have a big loss. Occasionally I will. And occasionally I'll have a big winner. These are the anomalies. They're at the far extremes of, what most days are. If we look at advanced, let's see, just profitability. This is profitability by open date and time. This just shows you, let me pull this back. 90% of my trades are going to fall within the spectrum of being, up 5,000 or down, whatever, 3,000. Doesn't mean there won't be a couple that are outliers. A couple outliers, way big winners here and there, a couple on the downside. But this is what trading is about. It's about the averages. And when you do have a big outlier, either to the upside or the downside, you got to kind of just brush it off, even if it's a big winner, because you don't want to let that get you, overly aggressive. It's probably not a coincidence that you'll see the biggest winners and biggest losers are tied up around the same period of time. It's at a period when the market's at extremes, and I'm being a little bit more aggressive. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. So, again, this is part of the deal with being a trader. It's one of the hard things about being a trader is dealing with the ups and the downs. So today, I only had the goal of being green. That was my only goal. Today was a pretty easy day. We had a great gap scanner. SPI was on the scan here, gapping up this morning 150%, which is awesome. And I jumped into it, and in less than 10 seconds, I made $3,396, which was a pretty awesome trade. So let's take a look at that trade. All right, so live trading, $3,000 in 15 seconds. All right, so we're going to bring this up here. All right, so we're getting ready for the bell to ring, and I'm watching SPI, leading gapper. The pre-market high is $7.15. All right, so I don't trade pre-market. I wait for the bell to ring. And on this one, we got the bell's about to ring. I'll just maybe move this just a smidge forward. Oops, let me pull that back. Okay, so here we go. I've got my 9,000 share max size for the day. Increased it because I felt very confident on this. On this setup, we have a pre-market high of 715. We're opening lower. My goal on this is to buy right around 7, maybe on a little dip, and then sell on the break through 715. Very high level of confidence that it'll break. Didn't want to take 12 or 15,000 shares, even though I was very confident. I said, don't take that much size, because if you're wrong, and I am wrong 30% of the time, I don't want to take a big loss 2 days in a row. So let's go with 9,000. That's a little bit more conservative at this point for me. So here we go. We got 3 seconds to the bell. You can see the clock up here. There's the bell. The bell rings and it dips down for a second. And I like that. That's what I want. That little dip, that for me is a buying opportunity. So I press the buy button, 79. Boom, 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 I'm in. Looking now, target $7. There we go. There we go. That's what we like. Boom. Put an order on the ask to sell half at 720. Sold half, I'm up $1,800. Just like that. I'm going to sell another half here. And then sold the rest. Stopped out. Now, at this point, I'm going to put an order, I believe I was going to put an order ready at about 7:35 to get back in. Let's see, I'm going to have to update it down here in my price window. Looks like I haven't updated it yet. Just kind of watching it. Up 167%, 170%. There's 20, 32, back to the highs. So that's where I prepare the order. Now the order's getting ready at 35. I'm ready to get back in. And then, nope, we drop back down below 7. So we're 1 minute into the day, and in 1 minute of trading, I'm already up $3,396.82. Not a bad start to the day. I took one more trade, and it was on. I took two more. One on one on Solo. This was a daily chart breakout. Took one trade here, stopped out, and then got back in right about here. Jumped back in. Oops. Let's pull that back. This is just a quick trade. It's not really that much to show, but this was a bull flag here on the 1 minute, flagging on the 5. So back in this one with 6,000 shares, went a little smaller. I'm in, looking for the break over 5. Heavy sellers at $5. It couldn't break that level. I gave it a second to come back up and try to break it a second time, but I knew I was keeping a mental stop at 490. So here we come back to 96, 97, 98. All right, come on, let's go. Is it gonna break? 99, no, not breaking yet. People are gonna start giving up on this thing. And boom, I'm gonna throw in the towel. So, that's the way it goes. Up $2,800, it's a great day. I achieved my goal today, which was to have a green day. I wasn't trying to be a hero today. I didn't want to, try to swing for the fences. I certainly didn't want a revenge trade. I'm not going to overstay my welcome. So 3 trades, 1 great winner and 2 small losers. That's fine with me. I'm totally okay with that. Live to trade another day. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow. Try to finish up the week with 1 more green day. And realistically right now, it's going to take me a week to, just kind of clear the slate from that big loss yesterday. It's just not going to happen overnight that I can bounce back from it. I don't want to try to. It's not to say that I can't make $30,000 or $40,000 in one day, because I know that I can. But if I set that intention, I'm just going to make mistakes and I'm going to be sloppy. And that's not what I want to do. I want to be calm, cool, composed. So, probably wouldn't surprise you that I woke up with a killer headache this morning, and there's been an excessive amount of sighing going on today, but I'm just trying to put that stuff aside and just let it roll off and just start rebuilding. So, moment of silence for my account. we'll get it back. It's going to be one day at a time. It's going to take a few days. That's all right. I'll get there. So I'm just happy to be green today. It's good Thursday, and we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, so as usual, any questions on the trades, those of you guys that watch on YouTube and Facebook, you can post them below, do some comments later this afternoon. And I'm going to get out of the office for a little bit, get some fresh air, put the market kind of out of my mind, and be back in the morning. All right, see you guys tomorrow. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.